Welcome to NFL Imperialism, but jersey number equals touchdown. For instance, if Brock Bowers scores, the Raiders will get 89 points, but if Alvin Kamara scores for the Saints, it's still good at 41. But if a player like Jamar Chase scores today, that touchdown is worth 1 single point. And as always in Imperialism, I will spin for team selection and direction, letting the NFL teams attack and expand their territory until one NFL team controls the entire country. The winning team in a battle steals a player, and an expansion to an unclaimed state will give the team a player from the free agent pool. Now, our power-ups are very on brand today. Starting in Idaho, we actually have a power down called Slice, where the first touchdown scored for this team will be sliced in value, and this lasts 3 games. But moving 2 states over to South Dakota, we have our other power down today called Cursed Cauldron, where 3 players in this team will have their jersey number reduced to number 13. The unlucky curse will also last 3 games. Finally, something to smile about, Slots in Iowa will have 3 players in this team will get to spin a lucky wheel for a new jersey number. And then we have a cult classic, we have Double Trouble in Oklahoma, where this team will steal 2 players for every successful conquest. Staying south in 2 states over in Mississippi, this is called Multi-Layered, where the first touchdown score of this game will have their jersey number multiplied by 2. This as well will last 3 games. Up to Kentucky, we have Take 10. For every game this team wins, a random offensive player will gain 10 to their jersey number. Neighboring Kentucky into Virginia will be Bandit, where this team gets to steal 2 random players from 2 random teams. And finally, zooming into Connecticut, this is Afterlife. You know how this one works. A team will get a second life. Now, I fully expect this to be a much shorter episode of Imperialism because we're going to have teams dropping 500 points today. It could be large blowouts. But regardless, the outcomes, this is still part of the mainline series, which means we'll have updated stats and standings at the conclusion of today's episode. So our power-ups are placed. Let's talk about today's teams that could be a threat. I already mentioned the Raiders because, of course, Brock Bowers, who wears number 89, probably the best offensive target at the highest number today. They just have to watch out for the power down to stay above them in Idaho. There has been absolutely nothing to smile about in Dallas for the last 3 weeks, but at least they have CeeDee Lamb and they share a border with a power-up, so maybe they have a chance today. Realistically, a team with a pretty solid tight end is who you want to watch out for today, including the Cleveland Browns with David Njoku wearing number 85. Mark Andrews wears 89 as well. I'd go as far to say Travis Kelce with 87 as well. No matter who scores, it should be a fun one, so let's begin. Jersey number equals touchdown Imperialism. Turn number 1, I have absolutely zero expectations with how this is going to go, but let's start with the Seahawks. This is a team we usually don't see this early on in this video, and they'll get an expansion to Oregon. They were able to dodge Idaho this time, but I don't think they'll be able to do that again. And though he won't be able to score touchdowns for this team, he's still a defensive piece they might need in Christian Wilkins, the first free agent pickup today. It's going to be tough to decide which players I should move where as we go to Buffalo. I mean, think about players like Jamar Chase. Let's say the Bengals end up losing their game. Considering he wears number 1, it would probably screw teams over more, but we have a really good game to start out today. The Bills will travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Let's see which jersey numbers are better. Looks like we might see our very first touchdown of the day as the Eagles are in the red zone. 3rd down and 3. Jalen Hurts can't score the touchdown. No. Oh no. What an awful start as the Eagles put up a whopping 1 single point on the board. We've seen an impressive Josh Allen come back 1 week in the season already. I don't think he can come back from this. This is too much of a handle for him. Something I should probably mention before we continue on this video, I'm not counting extra points today because they're essentially useless. I mean, for this case, I guess the Eagles have 2 points, but they're not counting. Field goals will count, however. Looks like the Bills are about to strike with a touchdown themselves. Other than their tight ends, the Bills don't really have any high number offensive players. They literally have Keon Coleman wearing number 0. This is a flag right now. It would be a 5-point touchdown if it stands, but I think it's going back. Actually, I lied. The touchdown stands. It was offside, so the Bills are up 5-1. Well, here's our first field goal of the day, so the score is 5-4. Are we playing the right sport here? Another field goal for the Eagles, so they take the lead 7-5. Well, after giving up 2 consecutive field goals, the Buffalo Bills looking to take the lead. James Cook rushes to the 6. This is looking like one of the lower scoring games we'll see all day. We have a touchdown for a Bill. I can't see the number. Oh, it's Keon Coleman. No, it's 0-point touchdown. Accomplishes nothing. The score will stay 7-5. I didn't even think about players wearing 0. This extra point doesn't matter, but I mean, him, Calvin Ridley, Matthew Golden, the Green Bay Packers, their touchdowns are worthless. Now let's see how much the Eagles will extend their lead by. Do not be another Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown. Saquon Barkley drops it. Are they going to go for it or kick for 3? Looks like they're sending Elliott out, so this is really safe. They're going to kick the 3 points. The Bills still have a shot, by the way. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was looking at my phone. Is there a kick return touchdown? This would be the highest touchdown score today, but no. Number 29 is tackled at the 11-yard line for the Bills. That would have been huge. Why is this actually turning into an intense game? The Bills need to score a touchdown with somebody 5 or higher. Josh Allen rushing touchdown would be nice. This is a touchdown. I think it's Palmer again. This is going to be a tie game. 5 points. It's 10-10. Skipping ahead to the 2-minute warning, the Bills scored another Keon Coleman touchdown. Another worthless 0 points. The Eagles still have a chance. That might have actually just cost the Bills the episode because now the Eagles are in field goal range. They can just win with a field goal kick unless they accidentally burn the whole clock up. The Eagles only have 10 seconds and looks like they're going for the the end zone. Jalen Hurts is almost intercepted. 3rd down and 2. Jalen Hurts throws it up to the end zone again. Wide open is Devontae Smith, who catches it and instantly drops it. 2 points is enough for the lead. That was not Devontae Smith. That was Jahan Dotson from the Commanders. The score is 12-10. If they can waste 5 seconds, this game's over. The Eagles will get it done, winning 12-10, and they can thank Keon Coleman for catching 2 touchdowns. It's pretty evident that the Eagles will get screwed over if I give them an offensive player at those low numbers, so I'll give them someone on defense. This is Gregory Rousseau, and I'm gonna hope that's the most realistic score today, and 12-10, probably the lowest as well, as the Eagles will get it done. That was an entertaining game. I cannot guarantee you that every single game is gonna be that close, as we'll head to the Bengals. They've been a lot of talk today. Good thing for the Bengals, they still have Mike Gesicki and T. Higgins. They're gonna have to use them instead of Jamar Chase. They'll be heading right up north for a Battle of Ohio. Normally, I'd say this is the Bengals game to win, but today, anybody's game. Jumping into this game in the second quarter, it's currently 3-0 Bengals after a field goal. How does Joe Flacco put the Browns on the board? David Njoku would be huge, and it's a touchdown for the Browns. The biggest touchdown today is 85 points. This is exactly why the Browns might low-key be a dark horse team today. I'm not counting the Bengals out, however. Like I said, T. Higgins is an option. Wait, I'm stupid. I forgot T. Higgins changed his number. He's 5 now. The only chance I have is Mike Gesicki. So the score now being 88-6, Mike Gesicki is the only option because he wears number 88. There's T. Higgins, who I thought still wore 85. No, he changed it a couple years ago. It's actually crazy that there's only been 1 touchdown scored this game, and it was David Njoku. The Bengals look at they changed that. Number 80. It's not Mike Gesicki, but number 80. That's huge. They're not going to be in the lead. They're going to be down by like 2 points. Who is it? Oh yeah, it's Andre Iasovius. All of a sudden, the Bengals are in this game. They trail by 2 points. It is 88-86. Looks like the Browns really want to extend their lead. Joe Flacco just needs to put some points on the board. He's going to run for it. He throws a wobbly pass to nobody, and it's 4th and goal. So they're just going to kick a field goal to gain extra 3 points. The Bengals could only get to the 43-yard line. They just need a Hail Mary with somebody at a high enough number. Looks like it's going to make it there, and it is caught for deflection. No, that would have won the game. Number 88, Mike Gesicki had his hands on it, but it's incomplete. All right, here's a better look at what happened because I have no clue. Oh, it was just a straight up drop. I thought Mike Gesicki actually had it. But if Mike Gesicki actually caught this football, he would have had 2 feet down. They would have won the game. A common trend you're going to see me do is giving teams defensive players because why would I want to give them Jamar Chase? This is Trey Hendrickson, who desperately needs a new face scan. And I can't remember the last time or even at all the Browns beating the Bengals in Imperialism. Has this even ever happened before? But you know what? Good for the Browns. They've been bad in this series the entire time. And our first 2 games, no Joe Burrow, no Josh Allen. Up next is the Rams. Another team I'm concerned for, other than Tyler Higbee, they have Devontae Adams wearing 17 and Puka wearing 12. Not too good. But we just wrapped up the Battle of Ohio. Now let's begin the Battle of Los Angeles. How much points will the Despicable Me looking Charger minions put up? They're gonna throw an interception. Okay, so 0 points. That doesn't work out well. I can't blame Justin Herbert for throwing to someone wearing 53. He had the right idea. Still awaiting our first points in this game late in the 3rd quarter. Could it be Kyron Williams? Not quite. That could be one of the better options other than Tyler Higbee going backwards for 3rd and goal to 6. This is going to force Matthew Stafford to throw the football to almost intercepted. Tight window incomplete. And a field goal is going to be on the board, I guess. I guess it's really going to come down to first touchdown wins for this game. I'm quite surprised with how low scoring these games have been. In the intro, I said teams are going to drop 500 points. We haven't even hit double digits here. It's still 3-0. Imagine we see overtime tied at 3. I mean, if we make plays like that, that's going to happen. 2nd and 7 on the slant. Quentin Johnston cannot score. He wears number 1. They wouldn't even take the lead. Matter of fact, literally anybody else would put the lead for the Chargers. There you go. Who is it? Who is it? I didn't see who it was, but I think it wasn't Quentin Johnston. Was it seriously Will Dissly? Number 89, overkill. I mean, all you needed was 4 more points. Goodness. I don't even think it's possible for the Rams to win this game. They're down by 86 points. I think Tyler Higbee wears 85. The Rams turned it over anyway, so the final score 89-3. Once again, defensive players are the better option here, so the second player, Jared Verse, is going to the other LA side. So far through 3 turns, the Bills, the Bengals, and the Rams all eliminated 3 possible playoff teams. I mean, no disrespect to the Chargers though, but I think that's going to show how random this episode might end up being. I really have no clue who's going to be good. The Colts, I mean, we saw Daniel Jones slice up the Dolphins. If he has high numbers like Mo Alley Cox, they could be good. I can't believe I just called Daniel Jones and Mo Alley Cox a threat in an Imperialism video, but here we are. I'm sure this is the matchup everyone's been dying to see. The Colts will travel to Cleveland for the Browns' second game today. Well, after a Jonathan Taylor rushing touchdown, the score of this game is 28-3. I just sent a shiver down Tom Brady's spine. Let's see how the Browns will respond. They do have Ford in the backfield wearing number 34, who is just a yard short. Good tackle by the Colts. If they were smart, they would go right back his way, which they do by going backwards for a loss of 4. 3 points does nothing here. This is going to be a touchdown for David Njoku. Much better than Jerome Ford, again in the end zone with 85 points. Why is Cleveland actually cooking today? They know the objective. They're targeting the one person they should be. The Cleveland Browns will jump up to a 60-point lead. The Colts were able to respond, but it's way too little too late as Michael Pittman puts 11 points on the board. I guess the Colts aren't out of it quite yet. They have 2 options, and one of them's right there. Tyler Warren, the rookie tight end, or Mo Alley Cox. That would put him over the amount of points needed, which is 49. But they'll have to be able to find the end zone, one of them with less than 1 minute remaining. Daniel Jones steps up and runs. He can't score the end zone. Okay, he's going to slide to the 7. Okay, this could work out. This would be a miraculous win for the Colts if they can find it to one of the tight ends. And no, Jonathan Taylor gets the touchdown, and 28 is unfortunately not enough for Indianapolis. The Browns should hold on. Well, the final score of this game will be 88 to the number that shall not be named. And as a result, Cleveland will get their second player still today, being Quentin Nelson. Shout out to the Browns. I mean, if this was a normal episode, they would have only scored 1 touchdown per game, which they definitely wouldn't even won the first one. But, I mean, they're doing the objective today, and they have 2 wins today. Honestly, that might be a record for them. Have they ever won 2 in one episode? I'm not sure. They're also lucky that I'm counting this towards the mainline series, because as you know, if you're a fan of the series, the Browns are pretty down there in the standings, and they already got 2 wins today, so good for them. And let's go to Kansas City. Very interested to see how this team will play out, but first, they might get an expansion, so they'll just continue their gateway out west into Kansas. Okay, I'm a little scared to make moves in this video for other teams, because normally I just give teams the best player possible, but that's not really the case today. I'm going to help the Chiefs to do him a little favor, and I'm going to give him Jonathan Taylor, wearing number 28. He's going to be the starting running back. It's going to help a little bit. Please do not make fun of me in the comments if I make a bad move. I am trying my best. There's going to be a lot of numbers and people to remember for this video. That's not really a groundbreaking move because they already had Kareem Hunt, but at least they have a better starting running back. Back to Seattle, who has a high chance of hitting a power down as they go right into Idaho. Yeah, this one might hurt a little bit. If you remember from the intro, this is sliced, where for the next 3 games, the first touchdown they scored, their jersey number will be sliced in half. So let's say, for example, 28 scores. If Seattle is a 28, well, that touchdown would only be 14 points if it's the first touchdown of the game. Well, on the bright side, Seattle at least gets a player for expanding, and they desperately needed a good tight end. Their best tight end was a 69 overall wearing number 18. Not going to cut it, so I'm going to give them Mike Gesicki from the Bengals. Also important to mention that he did wear number 88 for the Bengals. 88's already taken on the Seahawks, so the next lowest number of that is the one that I'm going to give the players from. That's going to be the unwritten rule for this. So that means Mike Gesicki is going to wear 87 for the Seahawks. Let's just hope Seattle will be able to survive that power down, because that could be really bad for them. Well, okay, there go again. This is their 3rd time getting landed on. Maybe they'll actually play a game this time, and they're going south, so it could be. So Seattle's playing their first game. It's against the 49ers in San Francisco. Seattle's getting close to scoring their first touchdown. Of course, it's going to get sliced in half, so hopefully it's a high enough number where the slice doesn't do too much. Sam Darnold could run it in, and instead, he will fall the 1-yard line. It could be a fullback handoff. No, it's a quarterback sneak for Sam Darnold, so 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 points, they take the lead. It's not bad. Pretty normal score so far, but a touchdown for a player like George Kittle would really open up a can of worms as Christian McCaffrey takes the handoff in 2nd and 9. Brock Purdy's going to pass. Never mind, he's going to go down for 3rd and 14. So now the Niners might be stopped to a field goal here unless Purdy completes this touchdown pass. Somehow holding on to this contested catch is a touchdown for number 83. Marquez Valdes-Scantling on the Niners, I forgot about him. And now the Niners are up big time. How did MVS even hold on to this? Seattle was able to find the end zone with Cooper Kupp, but 10 points isn't really doing much right now. It's 86-17. I don't know why we have like 10 Niners playing the mannequin challenge in the backfield right now. This is a funny Madden glitch. Never seen this one before. Anyways, Kenneth Walker is in the end zone, and that's awful for the Seattle Seahawks. Is it going to show that in the replay? Yeah, they're still there. Are they just going to be there the entire game? Now, what is Christian McCaffrey doing? He's going to block the kick. And now Brock Purdy's invisible because he's stuck on the field. Did you guys see a floating football? Was that Brock Purdy? Are they? They're still there. There's like 46 people on the field right now for the Niners. Sorry, I've completely lost track of the score of this game. There is a much bigger issue at stake. Surely the refs would have called that 12 men on the field, right? Hold up, Seattle got an interception. They're at the 3-yard line. They honestly could win this game. But once again, the only option is Mike Gesicki. They're not going his way, and they throw again. Kenneth Walker, another 9 points, does nothing. Yeah, the final score of this game ended up being 87-38 after a Ricky Pearsall touchdown. I just get this game over with. Even though Seattle definitely outscored the Niners, all those low-scoring touchdowns did not do much. The Niners will take Devon Witherspoon to booster up their secondary. Gotta feel for the Seahawks, man. They hit a power down, and they had to play that game like 22 versus 11. However, the power down does carry over, so now the Niners will have sliced, and they have to go through it 2 games unless they end up losing as well. I guess the 49ers actually stands for how many players they have on the field at one point. We'll go to Washington. Off the top of my head, Zach Ertz is the only really high offensive number I can think of, and they'll have to hope to put him to work as they travel over the Chesapeake Bay into Northern Maryland against the Baltimore Ravens. The Commanders will strike the end zone first, making the lead 17-3 thanks to Terry McLaurin. And after Lamar turned the football over in their own territory, the Commanders are about to strike the end zone once again. A handoff and good tackle for 4th down. Now after a field goal, the Ravens might strike the end zone with Derrick Henry, who gets good blocks, but he'll be short about 4 yards. A Derrick Henry rushing touchdown would give the Ravens the lead, but obviously they want to look for Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews here in the red zone, and it's going to be a touchdown to who? Isaiah Likely. 80 points for the Ravens. That's exactly what they needed. That will make the score 83-20. 3rd and goal. Terry McLaurin's in the backfield. Could it go his way? It'd only be 17 points. This is only 5 points as Jaden Daniels rushes into the end zone, and that's not going to do anything for the Commanders. And after draining the entire clock and scoring a Zay Flowers touchdown, the Ravens will win 87-25. And we'll just add some more protection to Lamar's blind side by adding Laramie Tunsil. So the Ravens will take down the district and unite the state of Maryland. I'm very surprised we haven't seen a team put up triple digits yet. I thought the Ravens were going to be the first, but here's the Raiders. Vegas will be heading towards the Southwest, which goes through Middle California, owned by the Los Angeles Chargers for their second game today. We already know how important our tight ends are, but in this game, it's very important, and this is going to be a catch for Keenan Allen in his homecoming, which is going to gain 13 points for the Chargers. That's a respectable amount to begin. Let's see how the Raiders will respond, who have 2 tight ends with very high numbers. This is not how you want to respond. Ashton Genty's in the end zone, and the score of this game is 13-2. I don't know why our teams have been so bad at scoring today. The Raiders looking to change that, and Khalil Mack just destroys Ashton Genty. That actually saves the Raiders a bit. It's 2nd and goal from the 3. It's a fake. This one will be a touchdown to Jacoby Myers, I believe, which should put the Raiders up front. Yeah, that's 16 points for Jacoby Myers, so the score is 18-13, I believe. Now, the Chargers have marched down the field. They just need a touchdown, not to Quentin Johnston. Justin Herbert has 10 on his jersey, and he has a touchdown in the end zone, so the Chargers will take a lead, not by much, however. Now it's time for the Raiders to respond in Chargers territory at the 19. Geno Smith has 7. He could actually take the lead for them as he rushes for a gain of 8. As long as it's not Trey Tucker who wears number 1, or of course Ashton Genty wearing number 2. Jacoby Myers gets it again, and he has a first down to the 6. Neither Brock Bowers or Michael Mayer have yet to touch the football, and that's just not a good sign as Ashton Genty almost finds the end zone. I have yet to see a tight end touch the football yet. Who is this? Oh my goodness, it's a drop by Michael Mayer, who was wide open. That's 87 points right there that they could have had. In his defense, Geno Smith did throw him a piss missile 4 yards out. Not needed, but that should have been a conversion, and now it's 4th and goal, and are they going to kick a field goal because it's the Madden AI? It's 23-21. They're down by 2 points, and I don't think they're getting the football back. What an unfortunate loss for the Raiders. Michael Mayer, do not show your face in the Vegas streets again because of that. As the Raiders, they don't have a response. It's 23-21 to end this game. Well, as a result, our best player on the move so far is Brock Bowers. 89's taken by Will Dissly, so he'll wear 88. Just 1 point less, doesn't matter. So the Chargers will join the Cleveland Browns today in the 2-win club, taking down the Raiders. Chargers could be a team to watch out for now they have a weapon like that. Let's go to Rodgers and the Steelers. I believe their highest offensive weapons are Jalen Warren wearing 30, and then Pat Freiermuth, who's in the 80s. I don't think a lot of receivers really wear 80s anymore, which makes this video much harder than it used to be, but oh well. Speaking of the Browns, they're about to play their 3rd game today at home as well. The Steelers will begin with a 19-point lead thanks to Calvin Austin on a 48-yard touchdown pass. From what we've seen of the Cleveland Browns, they've been able to win games just by scoring 1 touchdown, no thanks to David Njoku. Are they gonna do it again? This is a touchdown pass to Jerry Jeudy, and finally their luck might be running out a little bit. It's already late in the 3rd quarter. That's not even Jerry Jeudy, that's DeAndre Carter, so actually just 1 less number. They got 2 points there. Okay, hold up, the Cleveland Browns might be back. They just scored a rushing touchdown to Jerome Ford for 34 points. Now they're in the lead. 45 seconds to go, wasting a lot of time here. I don't know what these play calls are. That was a waste of 20 seconds. Rodgers has to look deep more down the field. What are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? Do we want to win this game? Rodgers must got dementia because he forgot that time is at 0 seconds. But how about the Cleveland Browns? Their 3rd win of the day. This felt like an obvious selection as the Cleveland Browns will now have TJ Watt lining up next to Myles Garrett. All that's left for the Browns is the Ravens to complete the AFC North gauntlet. Look at them go. 8 teams down. Cleveland is responsible for 3 of them, and here's the Giants. I don't even know who can score touchdowns for this team. I mean, Bellinger? Is that their tight end's name? Well, I guess we'll find out against the Jets as as we're having the Battle of New York. Seems as the Jets are going to strike first if they'll even snap the football. They get it off with 0 on the board, and in the end zone with Breece Hall, I believe. It is Breece Hall. Okay, I forgot he wore number 20, so 20-0 for the Jets. But a solid response by the Giants as Darius Slayton gets a 53-yard touchdown for 18 points. Seems as the Giants are about to take the lead here late in the third quarter, as long as it's not Malik Neighbors. Russell Wilson is flushed out of the pocket. He might run it in. No, he throws it out of bounds. Why are they not running it with Tyrone Tracy? I don't understand. Well, I guess that works. That was Tyrone Tracy, right? A touchdown to number 29 for the Giants, and they'll definitely be in the lead after this one. It's 47-20. Good touchdown pass by Russell Wilson. Late in the fourth, the Jets get a field goal, but that's not doing much. They need to get this football back. 3rd down and 12 for Justin Fields, and he converts it to Taylor. Okay, he just needs to find the end zone with him as well. 38 seconds to go. Good conversion to Taylor again. Timeout to 18. 1st and goal at the 6. Justin Fields. Oh, he was going for number 83, but it's good defense with the Giants. Looks like they'll get one more playoff. This has to be the end zone, and it has to be a high number. No. 7 points will not cut it for the Jets, and the Giants will thankfully hold on. And as a result, Sauce Gardner will join the Giants defense, meaning that somehow, some way, the Giants are the final team standing from the state of New York. These last handful of games have been quite low scoring as of touchdowns wise. I mean, teams are only scoring like 2 touchdowns a game, and now let's go to the Cleveland Browns again. I mean, how many times are they going to be landed on? Well, actually, I think this is their first time being landed on. They've been the home team the last 3 games. This time, they'll be on the attack. So we're about to find out if home field advantage was the reason the Browns were staying alive in the first place, as they'll travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. Not who you really want in the end zone for Chicago, but 4 points is 4 points. But then the Browns respond quickly back with 3 points of their own with Jerry Jeudy, so it's 3-4. A field goal will give Cleveland a 6-4 lead. Here we go again with the low-scoring games. Here's a chance for Cleveland to extend their lead. 3rd and goal from the 1. Joe Flacco, quarterback sneak, and gets nose-driven to the ground, but he'll add 15 points and a gritty on top of that. This is still a winnable game for the Bears. They just need to score with somebody over 17. Caleb Williams wears 18, by the way, but instead he has a passing touchdown to who? Rome Odunze at 15. That's just short. I mean, they still can get the football back, but man, that's unfortunate. That makes the score 21-19, so Chicago's got to get a defensive stop. 3rd down and 10. Joe Flacco has a completion this time, and it's a 1st down, and the Bears have to call their timeouts. That's game over. Once again, a very low-scoring game, 21-19, but the Browns get their 4th today. This Browns defense is starting to look pretty good, as they'll add Jalen Johnson. The Cleveland Browns will continue to terrorize the Midwest region. We're going on 4 games now, the last time we've seen a team score 50 or more points. Come on now, this is not the reason I made this video. I want to see a team put up triple digits. Come on, it's gotta be the Lions. Also, please don't go south, because I am tired of seeing the Cleveland Browns. Oh my goodness. Does this wheel know that there's 20 other NFL teams not named the Browns? But I guess we'll see another home game for the Browns. Can they make it 5? What a start for the Lions, as Sam Laporta makes it 87-0. Cleveland might be screwed if they can't find David Njoku to respond. Let's see if Cleveland will answer back with some high numbers, and Jerome Ford is in the end zone. Okay, you know what? That's not bad. It's the first touchdowns of the game. They'll take 34. It finally feels good to have a team score a high number, as Jake Bates will add 3 for the Lions. They're up to 90. 3rd and goal from the 9. Empty set for Flacco. He has a little bit of time. He steps up, throws on the run, and Jerry Jeudy unfortunately catches the touchdown pass, and literally a field goal is the exact same as that. That entire drive of the Browns just to essentially be a field goal. Sam Laporta breaks a tackle. Oh, he steps out of bounds. He might have had daylight. Now, how will the Lions respond? Hopefully they'll be the first team to hit triple digits today, and nearly intercepted. Honestly, it should have been. So Jake Bates comes out. The game should be 93-37. This is still a 1-score game, actually, and well, not anymore. But Tillman will take the touchdown. That's 19 points. I guess the Browns are slowly making their way back up. That will make it 93-56. 3rd and goal for Flacco. Wide open, and there it is. David Njoku with 85 points. I think that's going to bring up the triple digits. It is now 141-93, our highest scoring game yet. And the Browns are now just pouring it on the Lions. Another Cedric Tillman touchdown from 19 more. Funny enough, the Lions still have a chance. It only comes down to Sam Laporta, unless Jared Goff takes a sack. Could be the final chance for the Lions, but this Cleveland Browns defense just keeps on taking down Jared Goff, and this game is going to end at this score right here. The Browns take their 5th. I think it's time to make a move for the Browns that's going to help them even more in offense. They have David Njoku already, but let's give them a secondary option in Sam Laporta wearing 87. I just can't believe what I'm seeing. Before this episode started, the Cleveland Browns had 9 wins in this entire series. This this episode was apparently made for them. Well, on to turn number 12. Can we please stay away from the Midwestern region of the United States? Yeah, let's go back to San Francisco, who is now playing with a slice curse for at least 2 games. They have 2 options. It's whatever it's closest to, Montana or the Chargers. That's closer to the Chargers. It's a road game for the Niners as they're attacking into SoFi Stadium. Not the greatest of starts at all for the Chargers, as Quentin Johnson gets in the end zone for a 1-0 lead. But the Chargers will get it right back in the red zone, looking to extend the lead by more than 1 single point. And here's a touchdown to somebody, and it's Ladd McConkey, I believe, so it's 16-0. The Niners are struggling this game, currently getting shut out before halftime, and another touchdown catch for Quentin Johnston. I mean, the Chargers are making this a little too easy for the Niners to stay in this game. Just to think, if we were playing normal football right now, the score of this game would be 21-0, but instead the Chargers have less points than that. The Chargers keep on taking advantage of the Niners being awful. They score another Ladd McConkey touchdown. Last chance for the Niners. George Kittle is open, but Brock Purdy steps up and runs for it, and he apparently gets the first down. Here's the Niners' final chance, and it essentially has to be a George Kittle touchdown. Not gonna cut it, as that's getting sliced in half. We'll call it 12 points. We'll just round it up. Even with the Niners having the slice in this game, it didn't even affect them that much. They just played that bad. They're gonna lose 32-15. Just like that, the Chargers now have 2 of the top 5 best players in today's video, Brock Bowers and now George Kittle. With 20 teams remaining, here is a full map look with the 2 dominant empires of the Chargers and Browns looking the best right now. We also still have 7 power-ups remaining yet to be claimed. Honestly, a lot of expansion is still out there. Haven't seen a lot of this video at all, and we'll continue with turn 13. So far through this episode, there's been a 66% chance that either the team named the Chargers or the Browns have won a game. Now let's go to somebody different. Finally, the Eagles. Well, even for them, this isn't their first time playing. This is their second game today as they travel south, right into a team who's also playing their second game today, as the Ravens will be playing the Eagles in a very top-heavy matchup. Big defensive win for the Eagles. Let's see how they respond. Their response was just a field goal as well, so this is too normal of a football score if you ask me, but Derrick Henry, look at the change that as he stopped at the 2. Lamar Jackson's gonna pass this time, stays in the flat to Zay Flowers, and only 1 point better than a field goal. It's 7-3. The Eagles got a time-expiring touchdown right before half to Devontae Smith, so they're actually gonna take the lead 9-7. 3rd and 1 from the 2. Lamar Jackson keeps it himself, and that's an 8-point touchdown. That's actually the highest score we've seen today so far in this game. Makes it 15-9. This is quite the low-scoring shootout. Now the Eagles are getting close as they trail by 6 points. Do not let Jalen Hurts in the end zone again. No, they should have learned their lesson. Another 1-point touchdown for Jalen Hurts. The final score of this game will be 18-10 unless the Eagles somehow get like an A.J. Brown or Dallas Goedert touchdown. Not even close. That being said, the Ravens will have 3 capable tight ends of catching touchdowns with a number higher than 80 as they will add Dallas Goedert. And this will dramatically increase the border they share with the Cleveland Browns. On to turn number 14, we will go to Denver. You know, I was just thinking it's been a minute since we've last seen an expansion. We'll head west into Utah for this one. Now, there is so many good players still, I could probably give the Broncos because a lot of teams have been losing recently, but I want to help their chances because Evan Ingram is our tight end and he wears number 1. So Mike Gesicki, number 87 to Denver. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody too important, but to be fair, it's been like 10 turns since we've last seen an expansion. Let's go to the Cowboys. I'm actually high on this team for once thanks to having the best receiver today in CeeDee Lamb, and they're going to make things even better as they travel right into Oklahoma, giving them the double trouble power-up, which remember, they allow to steal 2 players rather than 1 for every game they win. And their player acquisition for expanding, I'm going to help fill the gap they lost with Michael Parsons. This is Max Crosby. 2 expansions back-to-back after not seeing some for a long time. Now let's go to Denver again. Might as well just see a 3rd expansion as they travel northeast. We'll call that one Nebraska so they get to gain another player in the free agent pool. These expansion players are kind of hard to think about right now, so I'll just give the Broncos 99 overall Lane Johnson. You can't complain about that. Well, 3 expansions in a row. I guess this is what I wished for, and the Cowboys again. So we've gone Broncos, Cowboys, Broncos, Cowboys. And so after going Broncos, Cowboys, Broncos, Cowboys, the Broncos will play the Cowboys in a battle to see which will be the last one standing, a Bronco or a Cowboy in this game against the Broncos versus Cowboys. Well, late into this game, apparently the Cowboys were just that bad as they're trailing 59-0. But to think this team still has a shot if they get a CeeDee Lamb touchdown, which is not happening there. Can they at least get this conversion? CeeDee Lamb drops it. Okay. Well, the Cowboys got nothing to lose except this game. If they can't score a CeeDee Lamb touchdown, it's going his way. It's going his way, but no, Patrick Surtain intercepts it, and it was actually Tolbert who was going to. Honestly, it could be a pick 6. I mean, they don't even need the 2 points. This is just rubbing into Dallas's face at this point. What does that make it? 61-0? Yeah, that's our first blowout today. The Cowboys, after doing all that work to get the double trouble, they get bounced immediately. So one of the best, if not the best player today is heading over to Denver. It's CeeDee Lamb wearing 88. And now Denver will take over a lot of land area in Oklahoma and North Texas, and they'll also take the double trouble for future uses. I hate to admit this, but the Broncos could be the best team on the map. Our first instance of Florida today comes down to the Jaguars. As always, for Florida, they're kind of trapped where they are, so it's either up or down, and the answer will be closer to up. They actually got dangerously close to an expansion to Alabama, but it goes through Southern Georgia for the Falcons against the Jaguars. Unfortunately, the Falcons are a team that just don't stand a chance in today's episode. All their skill position players are basically 10 or under, as they lose this game 98-5 thanks to a Jaguars Britton Strange tight end touchdown. Nobody worth taking on the Atlanta offense, so they'll take Jesse Bates to help out their secondary. And Jacksonville will gain a little bit of freedom as they finally march out of Florida. Turn 17 up next is another Florida team which has to buy their way out of the state. And by that I mean pay the price against either Jacksonville or Miami. Whatever it's closest to, it's going south of Miami. And as a result, the Buccaneers will travel to Hard Rock Stadium. I can already tell the score of this game is going to be bad because the Buccaneers got a Kate Otten touchdown. Yeah, it's currently 108-0. The Dolphins put their first points on the board. At least they didn't get shut out, but it's only 6. And the score will stay at that. 108-6 Buccaneers win. I think this is a worthful upgrade as we'll go from Bucky Irving to Devon A. Chain. Bucky Irving wears 7, Devon A. Chain wears 28. All that's left for the Buccaneers is do the same to the Jaguars just north of them. 16 teams remaining will go to New England. Just south of them is the Afterlife power-up. That would be really nice, but instead they'll head west, which essentially is a direct shot into the Giants territory for a battle at MetLife Stadium. After a Russell Wilson rushing touchdown late in the fourth, the score of this game is 24-6, which opens a window for the Patriots to win this game. The Patriots do have options. It could be Ramondre Stevenson or Hunter Henry, deep to the end zone to Stephon Diggs. I'm glad he didn't catch it, but that makes it 4th down and 5. They got to worry about the conversion first, which Drake May just throws it to absolutely nobody. Well, that's embarrassing. I guess this game will finish with a score of 24-6. So the Giants will add a new tight end, Hunter Henry, who will wear number 83, and they'll claim their second victim today. 15 remaining teams if we just hit around the midway mark of this video, and the Cleveland Browns again. There is a higher chance we see an expansion from them as they travel southwest. Okay, as if the Browns were not already really good in this video, they're going to get a really good power-up in Kentucky alongside the expansion. Remember, this is take 10. For every game they win from here on out, they get to add 10 to somebody's jersey number on offense. Just imagine if they got this first before winning 5 games. I mean, that would have been 5 upgrades, but better late than never for the Cleveland Browns. Now, I am going to allow Cleveland to spin the take 10 wheel because they just claimed the power, but from here on out, they have to win games to get this wheel back. Who's going to be upgraded? David Njoku just got even better. He's going from an 85 to a 95. That does mean I have to change Myles Garrett's number, but that really doesn't matter that much. And now you can see David Njoku will wear 95. And on top of all of that, they still get a player for expanding, which I'm going to give him Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, of course, he only wears number 14, but now he has a chance to be upgraded if the Browns keep on winning games. As if the light wasn't shining bright enough on Cleveland already. But let's go to Tennessee, who just north of them is now the Cleveland Browns after getting that expansion, and they could run into them. It's yet another home game for the Cleveland Browns, but I guess that's just what happens when you own this much land on the map, as the Titans looking to take down this Goliath of a team. The Browns will start trailing, but they're used to this, as they'll be down 20-0. Tennessee is currently shutting down the Browns through 2 quarters, but a Cam Ward rushing touchdown does not help their cause. First red zone appearance of the Browns today, late in the 3rd quarter. How much points do they put on the board? Sam Laporta is in the end zone, and that 21 point was useless for the Titans. The 21-point lead, as it'll be 87-21. Absolutely threatening that David Njoku and Sam Laporta are running curl routes like that. You can't guard them both, unfortunately. They won't hit the mark every touchdown, but they'll be up to 90 thanks to Jerry Jeudy. And then Quinshon Judkins finds the end zone to bring them to a perfect 100. So it seems to me this should be a 79-point win unless the Titans somehow get a tight end touchdown off this Hail Mary on an untimed down. 0 seconds, and this is incomplete, and the Cleveland Browns will win. And as if this Cleveland defensive line wasn't already good enough, they'll add Jeffrey Simmons for their player steal. It's the 6th win for the Cleveland Browns today. I think the record in one of these videos is 8 set by the Ravens. I could be wrong. I think they have the record though, so they're going for it. Well, it only took you 1 turn to see this wheel again. Back to the take 10 wheel. David Njoku's been taken off the wheel because he can't go up higher than 10. He's already at 95, so he can only go to a 99. Then I added Amon-Ra St. Brown to the wheel now because he was our new addition before that move. So we spin it again, and let's see which player will be upgraded by 10. And it will be Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's going to 24. Things just keep on looking better for the Browns. I mean, having a wide receiver number 1 wearing 24 just puts you miles ahead of every other team in this video. We now have more unclaimed states on the map at 19 than teams on the map with 14. So hopefully that would change soon because there's still a lot of power-ups to claim. Denver Broncos, I'm looking at you. I'm loving this trend where every time I talk about the Denver Broncos, an expansion happens because that's just how it works here. Oh, wow. I don't think the Broncos are happy about this expansion, however, because we finally have our second power down claim today, which is Curse Cauldron. Cauldron. If you remember what this one does, 3 random offensive players in the Broncos, their number is essentially going to equivalent 13 for the next 3 games they play. Now, funny enough, this actually could be an upgrade because it could land on somebody wearing under 13 and they could get boosted up, but for higher chances, this could actually be bad. For their expansion player, we'll just give him Max Crosby because he's the best player I can think of in the free agent pool right now, at least in defense. Alright, so here is the Cursed Cauldron wheel. It has their 8 best offensive players on it, and like I said, it could be upgrades to somebody, or it could be really bad, especially if it lands on CeeDee Lamb. So we spin it 3 times, and these 3 players will have their number be 13 for the next 3 games, and that's actually an upgrade. So the Cursed Cauldron actually helps out the Broncos as Evan Ingram goes from 1 to 13. Let's see if they continue to get lucky, and yeah, honestly, I would say that's kind of lucky because Jalen McLaughlin is their backup running back who's not going to get much touchdowns anyways, but that is a huge downgrade as far as number goes. This hasn't felt like a power down yet for the Broncos, but that could definitely change depending on who it lands on here. Mike Gesicki. Okay, yeah, that hurts a little bit, but CeeDee Lamb does survive the wheel. So for the next 3 games, those 3 players will have their jersey number changed to number 13 for every touchdown they score. The Broncos, they kind of lucked out of that one. But you never know, it could end up hurting them somehow. But let's go to New Orleans. The first time the Saints are involved today as they travel northeast. Okay, back-to-back power-ups, and this one's pretty good, multi-layered, and it's essentially the complete opposite of Slice, where instead of dividing it, it's going to multiply the first touchdown scored based off their jersey number. And because I want to see this power-up do wonders for them, I'm going to add Cole Kmet to their tight end group. Per usual, I just had to speak the power-ups into existence. Now let's go to Arizona. Finally seeing some teams we haven't seen at all today, but they're kind of trapped in a hard place right now. Yeah, this is not an easy game for the Cardinals as they'll be attacking Utah and have to play the Denver Broncos. Leave it up to the Denver Broncos' luck to getting a CeeDee Lamb touchdown when his number was not changed for the Cauldron. So they'll be up 91-0 at that and a field goal. J.K. Dobbins didn't get struck either, so they're going to add 27 more points. It just said J.K. Dobbins had a 75-yard rushing touchdown, another 27 points. For the sake of my well-being, just find the end zone with anybody at this point. And this is incomplete. Nothing. Getting shut out. Yeah, an absolutely disgraceful showing by the Cardinals. They will lose this 145-0. And the Broncos have double trouble. They steal 2 players. Obviously got to be Trey McBride, who's going to wear 84. And then just some help on defense with Budda Baker at safety. How about the tight end rooms between these 2 AFC West teams in the West Coast? The Broncos and Chargers. I know the Chargers have Brock Bowers and George Kittle, but the Broncos now have Mike Gesicki, Evan Ingram, and now they have who they just got, the Cardinals, Trey McBride. I'm finally glad we're starting to see those power-ups go into effect. Let's go to the Houston Texans for the first time. They're trapped between the Broncos and Saints. They might squeak out of this. Wow, okay, that's one of the luckiest arrows of all time. The small gap right there leads them to Arkansas for an expansion. It's getting hard to remember what players are on the free agent pool and what players are not, especially the ones that have high numbers, but Pat Freiermuth was one of them, wearing 88, and he'll be the new tight end next to Dalton Schultz. But for the next time the Texans get landed on, they won't have a choice. Let's go to the Ravens. They could also get an expansion. They could also play the Browns or Giants. The answer to that question will be to play the Giants in MetLife Stadium. The Ravens in their opening drive approaching the red zone. Lamar Jackson on an RPO and an 8-point touchdown. He's done this already in this video as they'll go up 8-0 and he will lag the game apparently. The Giants decide to turn over the football in their own territory, giving the Ravens another chance to find the end zone. Lamar Jackson's going to pass this time. Can he run for it again? He somehow breaks the defender's ankles, but he's tackled 4th and goal at the 1. What do they do here? It's Coach Harbaugh. We already knew he was going to do this, but Lamar Jackson keeps it himself and no points out of this drive at all. Unfortunately, the Giants are awful and they just give the ball right back to him for Derrick Henry to get a rushing touchdown. 10 more points for the Ravens. Sure. No. Oh my goodness. Why? Why out of anybody has to be Russell Wilson? Well, New York still has life somehow, but it can't be a Russell Wilson rushing touchdown. Something like that would be nice. Number 18 could work, but that's still far from the lead. Darius Slayton brings the Giants to the 11. They could use him. They could use Tyrone Tracy. This would be a nice touchdown scored as he does break 1 tackle. He gets him to the 6. Everywhere is 4 down territory. Russell Wilson to the end zone. Who is it? 29. Tyrone Tracy. That's actually really good. They won't be in the lead, but they can definitely get the football back. So it's only an 8-point game, 40-32. They just have to stop the Ravens offense. Best case scenario for the Giants is if Lamar Jackson scores this touchdown. No, that's even worse. They hand it off to their fullback for 42 points. Is that Patrick Ricard? Wow, that might be game over. It's 82-32. It will come down to the Giants getting a tight end touchdown. But will they get even close to the end zone in the first place? Russell Wilson steps into this one. Look at this open receiver. Number 80. Imagine if he finds the end zone. All of a sudden, there is some life for the Giants if they can find somebody like that. Who is this? Okay, good thing he got tackled because that's number 17. Russell Wilson from the 9. Russell Wilson is looking to run. He better be stopped right here. It's gonna be 3rd and 2. Only chance is a tight end touchdown. Russell Wilson needs to look to one of the tight ends. He overthrows Tracy, but that's actually good. Last chance, down by 50, and that's unfortunately not gonna be enough. Tyrone Tracy will put 29 on the board. See, just imagine if Lamar Jackson had that rushing touchdown instead, then the Giants would have won this game. Impressive drive, but they couldn't make it there. And the Ravens recover the onside kick. They'll close out this game winning 82-61. So the Ravens will just take home a defensive piece in Dexter Lawrence, and they could be building up some tension against them and the Browns on who could have more land area, but I gotta give it to the Giants. That was a very impressive game they played, just fell just a little bit short. I believe this is turn number 21, where we'll go to the Saints once again. The Saints will be heading south, which will be good enough to hit into Houston for a matchup against the Texans and the Saints. And remember, they do have multi-layered, which means their first touchdown scored will be multiplied by 2. This first Saints touchdown is important, and they're already in the red zone. 2nd and 12, Spencer Rattler goes down, and I don't think they'll be scoring a touchdown this drive. 3rd down and 18, unless Spencer Rattler gets a conversion here. There's a flag, and for the moment, this is a touchdown for number 10, which would be 20, but does the touchdown stand? They called it pass interference, which stands the touchdown, and I believe Brandon Cooks will make it 20-0. It could have been better, but you know what? They'll take a 20-3 lead right now as the Texans kicked a field goal. Now, the Saints kicked a field goal, but the Texans are looking to find the end zone for the first time today. 3rd and 1. Nick Chubb is pretty good. 21 points for the Houston Texans. That conveniently puts the Texans up by 1 single point, 24-23. Well, the Saints will take it right back as they go down the field in 6 plays and get a Chris Olave touchdown for 12 points. Texans now trail by 11 points. They need a touchdown here with somebody higher than 11, but incomplete. The Christian Kirk, that would have put him in the lead. This could be it for the Texans. 4th and goal from the 8. CJ Stroud, open receiver, number 88. Is that Dalton Schultz? Touchdown Texans, they're well in the lead now. No, it's Pat Freiermuth wearing 88 for the Houston Texans. I literally just made this move, and that helped them big time. The Saints could not respond. The final score is 112-35. That Christian Kirk drop pass was the best thing to happen to Houston today. We're going to go ahead and give the Texans Alvin Kamara, which even though they already have Nick Chubb scoring 21 points to them, 41 is really good in the backfield. The Texans have options now, and they're also going to take over multi-layered, which will have 2 uses left after this turn. 11 more teams to go, and Carolina's up for the first time today. More than likely will be an expansion as they travel kind of northwest, which will land on the state of Virginia, giving us the Bandit power-up, which is going to be pretty strong considering of how late it was used in today's video. The Panthers will get to steal 2 random players from 2 randomly selected teams. But first, let's do their expansion play before we get to the Bandit, as they'll get Cole Kmet, who'll have to wear number 80. So here's a wheel with the 10 other remaining teams currently on the map. Whoever this lands on will lose a player thanks to the Carolina Panthers. That is good. The Chargers are going to lose one of their tight ends. So George Kittle is going to Carolina. The next highest number he can wear is 78, which is a little unfortunate, but that's still a very high number. The Chargers, that hurts, but they do still have Brock Bowers. Now they get to steal 1 more player from this selected team, which will be the Houston Texans. Wow, that is unfortunate for the Texans, who literally just got Alvin Kamara by beating the Saints. So now the Panthers have 2 great offensive weapons, and they haven't even played a game yet. Will that be enough for Carolina? We'll just have to wait and see. But the Vikings for the first time of today as well. It's just them and the Packers who have yet to do anything this episode, and I think both those teams will be doing something right now. Not a question with that at all, as Minnesota will go into Lambeau Field and attack the Green Bay Packers. And this will bring us to the top 10 after the conclusion of this game. Green Bay strikes first with Josh Jacobs. It's 8-0. Well, they go right back down the field and get a Matthew Golden touchdown, and it's still 8-0. The Vikings didn't really come to play today, but it's funny that they can still take the lead with 1 score here. J.J. McCarthy would take the lead if he had a rushing touchdown, by the way, but instead Micah Parsons is home. Guess who? Of course. 2nd and 11, J.J. McCarthy to Justin Jefferson for 3rd and long. A field goal is not a huge difference. It's 3rd down and 7. J.J. McCarthy wants to take the lead on his legs. He'll at least get a first down to the 3. That could be the best case scenario for Minnesota because Aaron Jones can take a handoff now, and the Vikings have 1 touchdown and are in the lead 33-8. Green Bay does have options still. They do have Romeo Doubs and Tucker Kraft. Josh Jacobs is not one of them, unfortunately. But they have to find a way to convert this 4th down and 6. Empty set for Jordan Love, and is he going to run? He throws on the run. Open receiver, not anymore. It was too high in the air, and it's incomplete. A turnover on downs. Green Bay somehow got the football back. Their only chance is a Tucker Kraft touchdown at this point, under a minute remaining in this game. Or Romeo Doubs, but we're under 40 seconds. Jordan Love, what was that? I mean, I guess we get a first down, but we got to worry about the time. They call the final timeout with 34 seconds. From the 24, 4 rush. Why are we still staying short of Josh Jacobs, and he can't get out of bounds? That might just burn up the whole clock. They might have 1 more play. Matt LaFleur calling some absolutely horrendous plays. Why are we still still not going towards the end zone. Get Green Bay the hell out of this. I'm about to tear down that flag off the wall right now. That was embarrassing. I mean, you kind of can't pass on this selection. The Vikings will take Micah Parsons. So at least we've officially seen every single team do one thing today. And so we've reached the top 10 in today's episode with some few weird teams on the map still, including the Panthers, the Jaguars, Browns, Buccaneers. Not used to that. We also have the Chargers, the Broncos, the Chiefs, Texans, Vikings, and Ravens. It's interesting to say the least as we've reached turn 23, and let's go to the Vikings for back-to-back turns. Their next move will be to travel south. This was essentially perfectly executed by the Vikings, as going south into Iowa will finally give us the slots power-up, which means 3 offensive players that the Vikings randomly selected will have their jersey number upgraded thanks to a wheel. Let's first start with our expansion player. Okay, you might think this is stupid, but I'm gonna gamble with the Vikings here, okay? They're about to use a power-up which has the potential to change Ja'Marr Chase's jersey number, so you know what? Let's gamble with them. Let's add Ja'Marr Chase to the Vikings and hope I don't screw him over by accident. Okay, here's the wheel of the 8 best offensive players in the Minnesota Vikings. We get to spin it 3 times to upgraded 3 jersey numbers. The first one will go to... Look, I just helped the Vikings out so much. Ja'Marr Chase is getting a jersey upgraded. Okay, so here's another wheel now with every single jersey number above Ja'Marr Chase's. So this is 2 from 98. A lot of possibilities. It could be bad or it could be really good. And it is going to land on 42. It was almost 77, but that is a huge upgrade. You're welcome, Vikings. Ja'Marr Chase is now a 42. I'm afraid I might have just made one of the best power-ups of all time. We get to do this 2 more times, and the next player will be Jordan Addison, the 3rd receiver in the room. Okay, that's honestly not bad either because Jordan Addison wears 3, so he has a bunch of possibilities to get a higher upgrade as well. Jordan Addison will be going to a 99. Oh no. The only offensive player to don this number today is Jordan Addison. An 84 overall. He's the 3rd in the depth chart, so it might be hard for the Vikings to find him, but he wears 99. This is insane. I might be regretting adding this power up today because this is very strong. The final player getting an upgrade to their number, TJ Hawkinson. He doesn't have a lot to go up on. Well, I guess the good thing for TJ Hawkinson is that even though he's already very high, he's just going to get even better because there's not a lot of possibilities. Everything is up from here, and he's going to be 97. So he went from an 87 to a 97, a 10-point upgrade. They'll take it. Okay, so I made a mistake, which is unfortunate, but it always happens in my videos. Can't do anything about it. Jordan Addison is actually on IR now, which means I can't move him in the depth chart. I can't move him across teams. It's stupid. Madden should 100% change it, yet they don't do it. They keep the same every year. It's stupid. That being said, I'm not going to respin. I'm just going to make Adam Thielen the 99 overall. He's a little worse, but it's essentially the same thing, and I'm just going to move him up in the depth chart. He's 3rd anyways. And so there you go. For real this time, Adam Thielen is the first 99 overall offensive player. What an absolutely insane power-up that I might have just created right there. And let's go to the Cleveland Browns, the dominant Browns again, who might just very well play the Vikings as they now share a border, but instead the Vikings are traveling northeast. Or excuse me, the Browns, as they'll have a head-on collision with the final AFC North opponent that they need to take down to complete the gauntlet. It's going to be the Browns traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Both of these teams have just such good offensive weapons. The Browns, it helps so much that Jerome Ford is their starting running back as they're up 34-0. You know, I'm really not surprised that the Browns have been playing in all these low-scoring games. I mean, think of all the player steals I've given them on defense. They have Jeffrey Simmons, they have Myles Garrett, they have TJ Watt. It makes sense why they're actually shutting down their opponents. It's 4th and goal for the Ravens, down 40-0. Lamar Jackson has his 3rd rushing touchdown today. I wish he knew the objective, as it's going to be 40-8. Well, I think they know the objective now. They got it right back in a Mark Andrews touchdown for 89 points. Oh no, the Ravens are about to score again, and they get in the end zone with Derrick Henry at another 22 points. Just before the 2-minute warning, 3rd down and 6. Joe Flacco looks mobile still as he's taken so many big hits today. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Joe Flacco's looking for one of those tight ends right now, but he's looked for a little too long, and pressure has made it home for 2nd and 17. Only 60 seconds to go, and it's a 3rd down and 17. Flacco to Sam Laporta. Can it hold on? And if he was able to break Jay Alexander there was daylight to the end zone. I can't believe the luck of the Cleveland Browns might finally have ran out. There's so many good players on this team, but Joe Flacco looks absolutely clueless, and down goes Flacco. The Ravens should win this game. It's a final score of 119-40. So many great player steals the Ravens could get, but let's just up the scoring even more as they'll add David Njoku, who will wear 91. They're also going to take over the Take 10 power-up, which they'll be able to use if they win their next game. But let's talk about the Cleveland Browns real quick. 6 wins, 1 expansion, 23 turns lasted, What an absolutely unreal episode by Cleveland. It's the final stretch as we go to turn 24 going to the Jaguars. This is a team I believe is severely outmatched with the rest of the league right now, but we'll see what they do. They'll be one step closer to playing the Carolina Panthers as they'll take South Carolina, and by doing so, they'll claim Sam Laporta from the free agent pool. Up next, we will land on the Buccaneers. Okay, well, you know the drill. It's the final battle of Florida. The Buccaneers have to play the Jaguars. I feel a little bad for them because they've basically been missing out on every single thing in this video, and they have to deal with the main roster they have right now to finally find a way to win an episode of Imperialism. Awaiting our first score, open the flat is Sam Laporta. Is Trevor Lawrence going that way? No, he goes to Brown for a 5-point touchdown, and that's not going to do too much. The only offensive player for the Buccaneers lower than that is Emeka Egbuka, the rookie. Here's Bucky Irving as he'll get within the 6-yard line. Now third down and goal, down the middle to Egbuka. Honestly, that's a good thing he got stopped because they can get more points with a field goal rather than him. But I'd still call that a loss to the Buccaneers as it's going to be 5-3. Tampa Bay will get redemption. They have an interception to Jacksonville's territory. Baker to pass on 2nd and 11. Mike Evans at the 8-yard line. Egbuka in motion, 2nd and goal. Who do they go to here? It's a touchdown. Can't see who it is right now. Oh man, it's Emeka Egbuka. So they're going to tie the game at 5-5. And so the score has been like that for 2 quarters. Late in the 4th quarter, keep in mind a field goal could put the Jaguars in the lead 8-5. Travis Etienne at the 20-yard line. He would make it 6-5, but preferably they want to score more than 3. Etienne gets the ball once again. He gets a great block. Can he break one defender? He gets tackled at the 4. Do they go back to Etienne? No, they're going to pass, and it's going to work out pretty well for Travis Hunter, who gets stopped at the 1. That might be pretty bad for the Jaguars, because if they hand it off to Etienne here and he scores a touchdown, oh no, Travis Hunter, man, you might have just sold the Jaguars. A 1-point touchdown makes it 6-5. A field goal wins for the Buccaneers. We're playing a game of baseball right now. We're in the bottom of the 9th. So literally any points at all for the Buccaneers, and Baker Mayfield, watch out, it's 3rd down and 11. What a blitz for the Jaguars. Will they be able to pick up this 1st down? Mayfield gets better protection this time. He actually has a lot of time to throw the football, yet he still might get sacked. What is he going to do here? He's going backwards. He had a solid 8 seconds to throw the football, still couldn't find anybody open, and they're going for it on 4th down and 15. This is a missile, and this is almost caught by Chris Godwin. The Buccaneers are going to fight to get this football back. They need to stop Etienne, and they can't do it. Final timeout's called, and the final score of this game is 6-5. There isn't really any offensive players in the Buccaneers that will help the Jaguars scoring that much, so let's help out Trevor Lawrence's blind side, give him Tristan Wirfs. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, neither of these teams have a chance, even the Jaguars. I mean, you score 6 points this late in the video, you are done. Who knows, maybe the Jaguars will pull up rounds and end up winning 6 games in a row and claiming all the good players. Let's go to Kansas City. I don't even think they played a game yet today. But as long as they got a player like Travis Kelce, they will continue to be a threat no matter how many games they play, and they will head northeast. Alright, the Chiefs are surrounded by a swarm of purple. They hit one of them, and that's going to be the Baltimore Ravens. And if the Chiefs win this, they take over the take 10. And if the Ravens win this, they get to spin it for the first time. So who will the Ravens strike first blood with? Do not be Lamar Jackson again. Not again. Any normal episode, this would be great, the performance Lamar Jackson's putting up right now. But this is his 4th time rushing in for end zone. Another 8-point touchdown. How will the Chiefs respond? Mahomes, 3rd and 2, was trying to step into this one, but had to throw it out of a sack thanks to Kyle Van Noy. The Chiefs understand that field goals are useless, so they're going to go for it on 4th down and 2. That works out pretty well. Can't make the tackle inside the 5-yard line with number 28. Start of the 2nd quarter, backed up to the 11-yard line. Mahomes to Jonathan Taylor. 28-8 will be the score. Maybe this time Lamar will go after some of his tight ends, but Derrick Henry could be an option. He's hard to bring down. I mean, come on now. You got David Njoku and Mark Andrews, but look at this. Derrick Henry in the end zone for 22 points. Okay, that's a Ravens lead. It's 30-28. But into the 3rd quarter, Chiefs bounce right back in front, up by 1 with a Harrison Butker field goal. We've seen 4 lead changes so far in this video, and we might see another one if the Ravens can find the end zone. Lamar Jackson, open receiver to Zay Flowers. Let's hope that's all he does in this drive. They got David Njoku lined up as a receiver right now. Derrick Henry's open. Derrick Henry was open. Mark Andrews reaches for the goal line, but he's 1 yard short. What a huge stop by the Kansas City Chiefs. No challenge called. I'm a little surprised. Instead, Derrick Henry will add another 22 points by his number. Okay, Ravens are back in front. What a game this one's being. How will the Chiefs respond now? And no. It was going so well for both teams. And finally, oh no, Xavier Worthy only puts up 1. That sucks. A very conservative call for the Chiefs. They'll just take 3 points. I believe it's a 17-point game. One more shot for Kansas City. Their last 2 drives have accounted for 4 total points. They need something higher than 17. 1 minute remaining from just around midfield. There's Travis Kelce. They need to find him in the end zone. They call a timeout with 55 seconds. Mahomes stays for another 1st down again. They go 2nd and inches. Couldn't even get the 1st down at all. They need to stop playing the sticks and look more towards towards the sidelines or the end zone. This is still down the middle of the field. They have one final timeout they call at 22 seconds at the 17. To the 15. Mahomes towards the end zone. Who is it? It's a touchdown to Xavier Worthy again. No. Kansas City played this so well. They just chose the wrong people to score with. The last 3 scoring drives for the Chiefs only brought 5 total points, and that's unfortunately going to put them out of today's video. As expected, the Ravens will add Travis Kelce alongside Mark Andrews and David Njoku. The unfortunate tale of today's video is that we've seen many teams actually outscore their opponent as far as touchdown goes, but they don't even come close to the actual score of the game. So we go to the Take 10 wheel for the Baltimore Ravens for the first time today, as somebody will be going up 10 numbers. Anybody would be nice. Lamar Jackson would be nice considering how much rushing touchdowns he has today. But it's going to land on David Njoku, who can only go up to a 99, so he'll just stay at the max number. This is the second time being upgraded today, the max it can possibly be. We're down to 7 remaining teams. It's actually kind of crazy how both power downs still have uses on them. We haven't seen them in a minute, and we won't see them here with the Jaguars. Jaguars could get an expansion here, or they could probably play the Ravens or Panthers. They'll hit Northern Alabama for probably the final expansion for the Jaguars today. Though there might be higher numbers to score with, the Jaguars did not need Etienne running the football for them, so they're going to get Saquon Barkley, who will wear number 24. Let's hope I didn't speak too soon for the Jaguars, but let's go to the Panthers for their first game today. Well, it could be another expansion, but I don't think so. Yeah, it's going right into Tennessee to play the Baltimore Ravens for their second game today. Now, remember, the Panthers have yet to play a game, but they stole 2 really good players of the Bandit. They now have George Kittle and Alvin Kamara. Let's see if that makes a difference. Very surprised with all these low-scoring games this late in the video. Bryce Young to Xavier Legette couldn't even reach for the pylon. They better be going for this. This is the lamest decision ever. We'll tie the game at 3. Oh, I bet they regret not going for it now. I mean, imagine you just hand off to Alvin Kamara, he gains 1 yard, because now the Ravens put up 22 points thanks to Derrick Henry. Wow, this just got ugly. I don't even know who LeJounte Wester is for the Ravens, but number 83? I mean, maybe the Panthers have a chance? Chuba Hubbard gets 30 points on the board? I think it really comes down to who scores a touchdown here, and Derrick Henry just makes it even worse for the Panthers. Atomic Bomb versus Coughing Baby. David Njoku just dropped a 99-point touchdown for the first time today. A final score of 229-31. The most points dropped by one team today. An absolute blowout. The Panthers didn't stand a chance. There's not really a point to give the Ravens another tight end, so let's just help out the running game even more. Let's give him Alvin Kamara. Unfortunately, the Bandit was not enough for the Panthers. They've just been sitting around doing absolutely nothing today, and they kind of got what they deserved. I want to point out that this does mean that George Kittle is now in the free agency pool, so whoever expands next will get a really good tight end. All right, back to the Take 10 wheel for the Ravens. Do they really even need upgrades at this point? Probably not. Actually, that's the best thing that could have happened to him. Lamar Jackson will wear 18. Now it really doesn't matter who scores rushing touchdowns for this team. All 3 great options for the Ravens. I'm a little scared that the Ravens might have an easy path to victory today, but let's finally see the Broncos again. Under control of 2 power-ups, but one of them is actually a power down. Let's see if they move on to another expansion or a game. Well, they're finally going to give us this West Coast matchup, which I've been anticipating for quite some time, as the Broncos will travel to Los Angeles. The Broncos have to deal with a power down, the Cursed Cauldron, where the Chargers have their first touchdown so sliced in half, the final game of it. Broncos might hit the end zone first. They have to be careful who they score with, as Bo Nix will turn around, look for the end zone. Now he runs, and he scores for 10 points. Okay, that's honestly worse than the Cursed Cauldron. Well, we finally got to see the first Chargers touchdown this game. It took the expiring play to end the first half with a 83-yard touchdown to Ladd McConkey. Splitting it in half and rounding it up, it's 8 points for the Chargers. They're only down 13-11. Ladd McConkey finds the end zone once again, and this time it's worth all main 15 points, and they'll take the lead over Denver. Conveniently enough, the Broncos are down by 13 points, which is exactly what the Cauldron would provide to them, unless they get another Bo Nix rushing touchdown. No, that's even worse. What's up with all these quarterback rushing touchdowns in this Madden? I don't understand it, but they'll be down 26-23. The Chargers, unfortunately, are keeping the Broncos in this game. They only put up 3. They're up by 6. 69 seconds left in this game. They're getting closer and closer to the end zone. RJ Harvey. Ooh, wow, good tackle. Down to 40 seconds. Bo Nix drops play action. He steps into this throw. CeeDee Lamb. Oh, what was he doing? He stepped out of the 1. That would have easily put him way ahead over the Chargers, but instead it's a handoff for 2nd and goal at the 1. Don't tell me the Chargers make a goal line stand here. That would be insanely unfortunate. Nix running out of the pocket. Oh my goodness. You catch the interception, dude. Oh my. Whoever that was better be shaking their head, because they had a chance to win win this game. Bo Nix already running out of the pocket. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, good. It's 4th down and goal. They have one more shot. I can't believe the Chargers are currently making a stand. Backed up 2 yards as well. It's 4th down and goal from the 3-yard line. Imagine if CeeDee Lamb just went into the end zone. Oh man, it was too easy. Wide open on the slant for number 11. Puts the Broncos in front. Is there any tricks up the Chargers sleeves, or is this game over? Nothing. There you have it. Okay, so Broncos get 2 players thanks to double trouble. First, it's Brock Bowers wearing 89, of course. And how about Khalil Mack to line up on the edge on the other side of Max Crosby? Now, the slice power down actually ended up being the death of the Chargers. Remember that first Ladd McConkey touchdown? If it would have counted for 15, they would have beat the Broncos. But instead, Denver takes over all the West Coast, and they'll also have 1 game left on the Cauldron, which actually didn't affect them at all. I mean, I don't think they scored a single touchdown that game above 13 points to begin with. Once again, another top 5 appearance for the Denver Broncos. They seem to make it here every single episode, and let's go to the Houston Texans. They have 3 possible options, either against the Broncos, the Ravens, or the Jaguars, and the Texans will travel right to the Jaguars probably. Yeah, going straight down the Gulf Coast will bring them into Jacksonville territory. Remember, the first touchdown will be multiplied by 2. That's the one up they have on this team. Here's the opening drive for the Jaguars. They need to strike with something large to prepare for the multi-layered touchdown that the Texans might hit them with. Here's a quick pass to Travis Hunter for 12 points. Okay, will that be enough? We'll see. Here comes the Texans marching down on their opening drive. Here's a handoff to Nick Chubb to make 42 points for the Houston Texans, double 21-42, and that Travis Hunter touchdown not looking too strong now. Even worse, their next touchdown score goes to De'Ami Brown to only put up 5 points. The Texans go right down the field once again. Nick Chubb, another touchdown possibly? Okay, they'll take 21 points this time with Nick Chubb. The Texans might be running away with this one at 13 points. But who knows? All they could use to be right back in this is a Sam Laporta touchdown. Trevor Lawrence is going to throw. Sam Laporta was open for a second, but instead, Travis Hunter gets his second of the game. Unfortunately, the Jaguars will be stopped there. They were able to get a Brian Thomas touchdown, but still, the final score ended up being 76-36. So they already had Dalton Schultz, they already had Pat Freiermuth. Now they'll just take Sam Laporta. And so the Texans will reach the Final Four, taking down the AFC South opponent Jaguars, and they'll have one more use in multi-layered. Hopefully it comes in handy. The Final Four comes down to the Ravens, Broncos, Vikings, and Texans, where we will go to Houston again. All right, so here comes our use of the final... Alright, so here comes their final use of the multi-layered power-up. It helped them win their last game for sure. Let's see if it'll help them win this game right here, which will be against the Broncos, I believe. 100%. This will also be the final game for the Cursed Cauldron, so hopefully that does not screw over the Broncos in this final game of this power down. They have 3 players that are in their 80s they should be looking for. CeeDee Lamb is wide open off a slant, but instead they hand it off. Okay, that's the worst possible out of the 80s, but you know what? That's 27 points. He didn't hit the curse. That's J.K. Dobbins for 27-0. I was just about to say this team has Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, and CeeDee Lamb all to throw to. Now here comes the Texans for their first touchdown. Could you imagine if it would be like Dalton Schultz, Sam Laporta, or Pat Freiermuth? We're talking 160 points on the multi-layered touchdown. CJ Stroud wide open to Nico Collins. That will bring them to 24 points. 12 times 2 is 24. That won't even put them in the lead. They're down 27-24. But Patrick Surtain comes up with a clutch interception into Texans territory. Who will Denver find the end zone within? J.K. Dobbins again. Another 27 points for the Denver Broncos. Yeah, I'm afraid that's wraps. Trey McBride is in the end zone for the Texans. This just got very ugly. Yep, the Broncos just dropped 224 points on the Texans' head. All right, 2 players still for the Broncos. Sam Laporta, why not? And then actually a more helpful change, probably Derek Stingley to join Patrick Surtain. So that was the end of the multi-layer for the Texans and the Cursed Cauldron for the Broncos. I have to say, the Cauldron did absolutely nothing to affect the Broncos. Pat on the back for me for making the most worst power down of all time. Didn't even affect him. There was no 13-point touchdown scored. The Broncos will join the final 3 like they always do with the Ravens and Vikings. Here is the second to last spin as we are going to land on the Minnesota Vikings. It's about time we'll finally get to see them again. I want to see the players that got upgraded because of the slots as they'll travel southeast. Yeah, there's only one place where this is going as the Vikings will move on to play the Baltimore Ravens in the second to last game, and the Denver Broncos have clinched the championship game. What a start for the Ravens as I just missed a 99-point touchdown thanks to David Njoku. However, the Vikings can respond with 99 themselves. Remember, Adam Thielen's that number. A field goal does absolutely nothing. They need this conversion. McCarthy 3rd and 9. McCarthy gotta get rid of the football there. And unfortunately, 3 points does nothing. I don't know, man. I think the Vikings might be screwed. Unless they miraculously get TJ Hawkinson or Adam Thielen involved, this game's over. Yeah, safe to say I think this is over. Well, at least they're gonna make this game look closer than it should be. I mean, Adam Thielen does get in the end zone after all. This was the first game today where both teams scored triple digits, 275 to 102. It's the final player steal of the day. Might as well be Adam Thielen. The highest number he can wear is 91. I'm still gonna stand by my word saying the slots power up was really good. It's just unfortunate the Vikings were able to do absolutely nothing since then. I mean, the Ravens are super strong, and it only makes sense that these are the two final teams standing. And for the final time today, we get to spin the Take 10 wheel. One final upgrade, and it's gonna be applied to Travis Kelce up to a 97. He's already their tight end number 1, so this is a pretty solid upgrade. All right, more than likely the final turn today. I say that because we still have Afterlife in Connecticut, which I've never mentioned once, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Anyways, turn 31, Broncos, Ravens. These are clearly the two best teams today. One final spin to determine who's the attacking and who's the defending. I mean, there still is a lot of expansion possibilities. Just depends who we land on, and we land on the Broncos. Anything up or down would be an expansion. It's not like these teams really need any more players, though. Well, that makes contact with some purple, so it's official. The Broncos are the attacking team, and they have to go into Baltimore for our final game today. These teams have so many good tight ends that most of them are actually playing wide receiver. Lamar Jackson now wearing 18. Is he going for another rushing touchdown? No, but he'll take the first down. Now 10 yards out, Lamar Jackson's gonna throw. No, he's gonna take off and score 18 points. Okay, you know, normally I would think this is decent, but I mean, tight ends are the name of the game here in the championship. Well, it's a different story if the Broncos can't find the board at all. How will they extend their lead? Derrick Henry takes the handoff, and he's in the end zone. So now, I mean, 2 touchdowns down. This would be decent if it was early on. I mean, it's 40 to nothing, but all it could take is one Broncos touchdown to have double the amount of points as that. 3rd down and 9. 3 points is not the answer whatsoever. Throwing it up to the end zone, but one of the tight ends couldn't hold on. It was Trey McBride. The Madden AI will settle for 3. Looks like we're heading to the locker room, 40 to 3. Back out there in the 3rd quarter, they better pick up this first down because a field goal is nothing. Bo Nix takes off, and Benoit takes him down for 4th and 1. Please go for this. Yes, thank you, Broncos. 4th down and 1 from the 18. Bo Nix might run for the first down. He just needs to stop and slide around here. He's not going to slide, though. Okay, 1st and goal from the 3. That works. It is slowly getting on my nerves how this team has CeeDee Lamb, Trey McBride, and whoever else, and they're not going after them. And it's a fumble by Bo Nix. Maybe an offensive lineman will put 70 points on the board for them. At this rate, that's the best thing that could happen. What kind of championship performance is this, Broncos? It just seems like they've ran out of gas at the finish line. I'm afraid it might be over. Adam Thielen drops 91 points. The Broncos were slacking a little too much. And then on top of that, they have to come up with a defensive stop as they trail by like 130 points right now, whatever the score is. Bo Nix needs to stop running for it. He throws on the run, and it's a drop by one of their tight ends. That doesn't help either. 3rd down and 6. Bo Nix throws an inaccurate pass as he was about to get sacked. 4th down and 6. I think the game comes down to this. They better pick this first down up. And no, another drop by one of the tight ends. Broncos, that was embarrassing. I can't believe the Broncos made it all the way to the championship game, picked up all these great players, and didn't score a single touchdown in the final game. 131 to 6 is the final score, and the Ravens will win jersey number Imperialism. A very anticlimactic ending for how high scoring these games really should have been, but that's gonna do it. The Ravens will take over the United States for the second ever time in this series. I think it's safe to say that the two best teams today made it to the championship game, but the other one just did not play like it. The Ravens 100% deserve this as they get their second ever Imperialism victory. And thankfully to them, it was part of the mainline series. Even though this was a very wild episode, I have updated stats and standings for the entire series. I believe this was episode 16. Of course, spoiler warning, if you want to watch past episodes, I have a playlist link down below. Alright, so reminder how this works. You saw the same graphic at the very beginning of this video. This is the conclusion of episode 16, and this is how the Imperialism leaderboards works based off these 5 methods. We have turns lasted, wins, losses, expansions, and victories, and underneath that is how much Imperialism points that those categories will give you. So an example is the Green Bay Packers here at the bottom of how it's going to look in the leaderboards. Okay, let's get to it. So 32 through 25, you can see one thing has not stayed the same on this graphic, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still being the worst team in this series. It's still super unfortunate, and matter of fact, the gap just got even larger because of the episode the Cleveland Browns had. Let's take a look at them as they jump 3 teams today. The Bears Bears, Jets, and Saints, they went up 3, and you can see they're now sitting at 194 Imperialism points, but they're still negative. They won a good 6 games today, finished 15, 16, and 2 is their current record right now in the entire series through 16 episodes. Another team trending up is the Jacksonville Jaguars, who jumped 2 teams, the Rams and the Colts, up to 25 with their performance today. They only won a game or 2, I believe, but they lasted a long time, and they're up to 255 Imperialism points. Before I move up to the next page, as always, spoiler warning, because this is going to show what teams have won past episodes, so if you want to watch past episodes, like I said, there should be a playlist linked down below. Alright, 24 through 17, you have the Falcons and Commanders going down. The Seahawks are the worst team to ever win an episode, as they're only 6 and 15 with 297 IP. The Giants did pretty solid today, they're going up 3 spots, and then you have 3 teams turning down: the Lions, the Raiders, the Steelers going down 2 spots. All 3 of those teams have won an episode in the past, as they sit 18, 19, and 20 in the rankings. And then the Titans will stay the same at 17 at an 18, 16, and 10 record with a triple-double. Up to the top half of the league, you have the Patriots at 16. The biggest jumping team today is surprisingly the Houston Texans. They go up 5 spots. There were 20 last episode, and they lasted a pretty long time today, but they're still negative in the standings. They're 16 and 17 right now. You have the Eagles and Panthers, who dropped down 1 spot, and then the Chiefs, Cardinals, and Packers all staying the same at 10, 11, 12, and the Bills will drop out of the top 8 in the top graphic as they went down 1 spot to number 9. And now on to the top 8. A lot of trophies given out up here. We'll start with the Dolphins at 8, going down 1 spot. The Vikings, who did pretty solid today, they go up 2, but then you can see 4 teams in a row all went down 1 spot, no thanks to the episode the Baltimore Ravens had. So the Chargers went down 1, Niners down 1, the Bengals down 1, and the Dallas Cowboys down 1. Matter of fact, for the Cowboys, this is the first time ever in this series since I've been stat tracking that they are not the number 1 or number 2 team in the leaderboards. Well, let's talk about the Ravens moving up 4 spots to number 2. I said sometime in this video that the record set by a team for most wins in one episode was the Baltimore Ravens winning 8. And matter of fact, they matched it and did it again. They won 8 games today, also getting another Imperialism victory to join the 2-win club, 2-victory club with the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think that's the only thing we should be talking about, however, because let's look at the Denver Broncos at number 1, who almost seem untouchable. Only team in the 600 club. Matter of fact, at 657 Imperialism points. Why is that? Well, they have the most turns lasted, well, tied with the Niners at least at 377. They have a pretty solid record at 23 and 16, but expansions, they have 32 expansions. They are averaging at least 2 an episode. It would have been even worse if they ended up winning the game against the Ravens in this video, because then they would have had another Imperialism victory. They would have been at 700 Imperialism points if they got it done today. Matter of fact, this is kind of funny. If you take away every single stats the Broncos have except their expansions, so they have no wins, no losses, nothing like that, just expansions. They have 32 expansions, you times it by 5 for each expansion, that's 160. They would have more Imperialism points than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It might be a long time before we see a new team jump to the number 1 spot, but that's the conclusion of the stats and standings based off episode 16. Congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens on joining the 2-victory club. Now, just for fun and because I felt like it, I went ahead and calculated all the points scored by every single team throughout the games they played today, and I'm sure your eyes have already jumped up to the front. They take a look at the Baltimore Ravens scoring 993, almost 1,000. Now, granted, if you play more games, you'd score more points, but the Baltimore Ravens averaged over 100 points a game in today's video. You take a look at the Broncos and Browns, who also played a lot of games today, weren't even close, like divided by 2 the amount of points the Ravens scored on them. I had no clue how this video was going to go out. I was expecting teams to drop like high scoring games, and I mean like very high, like mid 400s to 500s. I was not expecting a lot of teams to not even hit triple digits today at all. And matter of fact, 2 teams got shut out, the Cowboys and Cardinals, and we had a lot of teams on top of that who didn't even hit double digits. The Packers, Dolphins, Patriots, Falcons, and Rams only put up a single digit number. But it was pretty clear who were the best teams in today's video. If there was a Mount Rushmore, it was definitely the 4 highest scoring teams today: the Ravens, Broncos, Browns, and Chargers. So anyways, thank you guys for watching another Imperialism video. Sorry for taking 3 weeks to get a video up. I promise that won't happen again this football season, because I have a lot planned, a lot of cool stuff coming your way. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.